Hey YouTube, welcome back to A Time for Reading. I am Sharon and I'm here to share with you my May TBR Part 1 with the Asian Readathon books that I have chosen for this month. Alright, so to start with, I'm a little sad that one of the books that I have on pre-order, it's not here yet, which is There's Something About Sweetie, which would have been perfect for this because I'm so stoked for that book, but it's not out yet. But I have a bunch of other really great picks. I'm so excited to share that with you. I have 4, top level, these are the books I plan on reading first this month, and then I have a couple other books that I was just like, I really want to read them. They also are of different Asian nationalities. I don't know if that's the way to term it. Everyone's got a different background. So I think that's really, really cool just because, one, I didn't realize I had that much diversity on my shelves. And I love the fact that this readathon's making me more aware of that. And I'm excited to share these books with you guys. So let's get started. First things first, obviously the group book, which everyone is reading, and that's going to be 1,000 Beginnings and Endings. Funny thing, I ordered 2 copies of these on 2 separate shopping sprees that I did on Book Outlet, and I gave one away. I gave one to my friend, and I have the other one. So apparently this looked so interesting, I had to buy it twice. So I hope I like it. I hope I like it enough to have it be something I literally paid $16 for the Book Outlet version. It's looking stupid. I'm just stupid, but whatever. We're gonna ignore that. Okay, so the next book is Sherlock Bones. This is a Japanese manga, so this fulfills the graphic novel prompt, as well as something that was written in another language originally, or translated from the original language, and then is now in English. I'm mutilating how that prompt was written, but whatever, you get what I mean. But anyway, this Sherlock Bones, this is about Sherlock Holmes's spirit has been reincarnated and is now in this little dog. How does that not sound like something so precious? And it just sounded like a very low-key, fun, right up my alley kind of way to introduce myself to manga, because this is literally the first ever manga I've ever read. And I did already read this. I read this right at the beginning of the month, right when I first got it on May 1st itself. So it was fun. You should check it out. And it's only the first volume, so I might find myself with more. And the next book I wanted to talk about was The Astonishing Color of After. I got this months ago, okay? I've been meaning to read this for ages, just like every other book on my shelf, because that's how I order books. I just buy way more than I'm ever going to read in a month, even though I read a ton every month. My buying outpaces my reading. But I also don't keep a lot of the books that I buy once I've read them, unless they're something I can seriously imagine myself rereading. This is heavy. It's a huge book. If I can't imagine myself rereading it, I tend to just give it away. Or donate it to a library or somewhere else, just so somebody else can enjoy it then. But I love having it on my shelf and having it at my leisure to read until then. And this was one of those books that I was just dying to read. And it's probably one that I'm going to end up keeping just because the cover is so freaking pretty. That's another reason to keep a book, because it's so beautiful and you just don't want to give it away. This is like a showpiece level of beautiful. I just think it's gorgeous. I just love the colors. It's so pretty. Okay, I'm going to stop being weird. Okay, so the last, and did I say what this covers? So this features Taiwanese characters. The author is Taiwanese, and it also features mental health issues, which means it fulfills the intersectional prompt. And last but not least, of the books that I know I am using to fulfill the Asian Readathon prompts, it's The Bride Test. So The Bride Test features characters that are Vietnamese, and it's also intersectional, but that's not how I'm just using it. I'm just using it as, the character or the author is of Asian descent or features Asian characters. I was so excited to see that this was available on Book of the Month because I read The Kiss Quotient and I freaking loved it. That story, it's so precious to my heart. And it was actually one of the books that I gave to my friend in our December book swap, which I took very seriously when I was picking out my books. So the fact that it was in the list of books that I gave her, says a lot about how much I personally adored it and just thought it was just unbelievably lovely. And I cannot wait to get into this one. Okay, yeah, I literally freaked out. This was my book of the month pick for this month. I get like 3 every month, but this was pick number uno. I'm gonna stop. So then I have a bunch of other books that I also wanted to include in this because they're part of my TBR for this month. Whether or not I get to them, I'm not sure yet. My goal is to at least finish the book of the month books that I've received, because I have 2 more, and they also are by Asian authors featuring Asian characters and from different countries than the books I've already showed you. So they do fit the prompts still, in a way, just not, there's just no more prompts for them to individually take on their own. And I haven't decided like what level of priority they will be yet, but you know, they're high up there. Like, I want to read them all. I want to read all the books. That's all. I think everyone that's watching me right now can relate to this. I want to read all the books. Anyway, one of the first ones is The Descendant of the Crane, or Descendant of the Crane. There is no the. Descendant of the Crane. This is a book by a Chinese author. It's fantasy meets courtroom mystery or something. I read this description in depth, I swear, before I picked it. That's what made me hype about it. But I can't remember too much off the top of my head right now, and I'm trying to do this all in one take. So, the next book is Erotic Stories for Punjabi Widows. This was actually on my TBR last month, and I realized in the middle of April that I was like, wait, next month's Asian Readathon, I should have saved this for then. The author, her parents are actually, or her family is from the region of Punjab, and she was actually born in Singapore before moving all over the country, all over the world. She grew up in Japan, Russia, and the Philippines, which is really cool. So, there's that. And the last book is another book of the month. This is actually from last month, a month I skipped, funnily enough. But this is Miracle Creek by Angie Kim, and the author is of South Korean descent. So, a lot of representation across like Asian cultures. I know there's so many more that I haven't even gotten to, but this is the list I've gotten to as of now, and I am so beyond stoked to read so many different genres and read about so many different backgrounds, or read what is created from the inspiration of someone's different background than someone like I'm typically used to reading. I read a lot of white authors, and I know that, and I'm aware of that, and it's so exciting to see how much the literary world has changed over the years, like from when I was a kid to now. I feel like when I was a kid, all the books I read, like, the main characters were all white, and they had, like, the one token black person, and there was just no diversity. And when I was a kid, I didn't know that there's anything wrong with that. In my opinion, like, as a child, I was like, that's just how the world is. Because the school I went to was a lot like that. Like, I was part of, like, 4 or 5 minority kids, like, in the school. Kids who just weren't white, and we were part of a very small group. And to me, it didn't seem that weird that my books would be like that, too, because that's what I was seeing every day. And I never realized what I was missing, and what I felt like I was missing, or realized I was missing anything at all, until I started reading books by more diverse authors, and then actually reading characters who were written to be like me. And I was just like, this is crazy. Like, this is familiar to me. Like, this is weird. Is this what it's like? Like, I could read a book and actually see myself in the character. Like, I didn't even know that was a thing that I could feel. It, like, never once occurred to me in that way. And, like, I am so excited for where literature is going, and where publishing is going, as far as like making sure that diversity is seen as something important, because it is. Like, we should all be able to see ourselves in the books that we read, and I am so excited to be able to dedicate this month, or so much of this month, to Asian authors. And that's why I'm also really disappointed about, you know, not having There's Something About Sweetie with me already, because I literally like got so hyped up that there's a fat Indian chick is like the main character, and I say this as a fat Indian chick. Like, I was so excited. I'm like, what? We're like, this doesn't happen in books. Like, no, like, it's hard enough to find a fat girl, and it's even harder to find an Indian girl. The odds that I was ever going to find them together were like 0, and I didn't even know that mattered to me until I read the description and found out that there would be a book like that, and I was like, I didn't know I was missing this from my life. And it's like such a dorky thing, but like, it meant so much to me, and I'm just so beyond ecstatic that that book is coming out, and I'm so excited to have it. And like, I don't pre-order that often, and I freaking pre-ordered that book because I was like, I need to have that book in my life as soon as it comes out, and so I'm gonna sit and I'm gonna read that thing because I'm so excited for it. But yeah, that's my little why diversity is important talk. Thank you guys, and hope you read some really great books. Tell me what you're reading for Asian Readathon. If there's a book that you have already started reading for Asian Readathon, if you see this towards the end of the month, what did you guys read? How'd you like Asian Readathon? Did you have any particular characters that you felt really connected to? Did you learn something new about a different culture? Tell me all about it. I want to hear it. Thanks, and have a great rest of your day. Bye.